Okay, I think I know how it works this time. YouTube, don't mess with me. I got you figured out. No more of that. I know how to live stream. I have this all figured out. I am a genius. I'm a mastermind. Haha, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another random YouTube Q&A. You ask me the best possible questions on the face of this planet, and I give you the worst possible answers with the least amount of effort possible. It's very simple. It's very easy to understand, and it should last for about an hour. I'm going to tweet it. Going live for another random Q&A, just so all the tweeter folks know about it. There, the tweet has been sent. Hello, who's first? Joshua, Roney, Chris, welcome to the stream. I'm trying to do about 2 to 4 of these a month. Things keep coming up. What happened recently, I figured this would be a good subject for the live stream because I don't think I'm going to make a video about it, is my studio light has been messing up. I'm not using the light right now, but the light I use for my Tailosive EV videos started with, it's basically just a standard Crafty light that gets pretty bright. It's a pretty big bulb, and I put it out in the living room when I'm filming, and I just plug it in, and there's a switch. And yesterday, I flipped the switch, and it didn't turn on. I was like, uh-oh, what's the problem? And I thought maybe, you know, we were using the AC. We've been using a lot of power recently. So I was like, maybe something's gotten overrun, you know, overdone, or maybe the breaker's tripped or something. So I've tried to plug it into a different outlet and still no result. And I had double checked this outlet and it was providing power. So I know it wasn't an electricity problem. And I took the little cover off the light. I guess I could show this to you, but I'm afraid I'm going to break it if I show it to you. I basically wanted to just unscrew the light to see if there's a problem with the bulb and then put it back in the studio and the studio stand and everything. And as soon as I unscrewed it, the white plastic part of the light bulb, I wish I had a bulb I could just take out really quick. I don't have one on me. The white plastic part of the bulb that basically holds the glass part separated from the metal conducting part, you know, the metal tip of a light bulb that actually meshes with the socket to light up. The plastic in that metal separated, and there was still a red wire connecting the two, but it was definitely like a not intentional, this is a part of the light bulb that's not supposed to come off, and yet it was coming off. So I was very confused. I was like, so do I do I just cut the wire and count my losses? Because the box is set up on this light in a way that the only way to collapse down the studio box thing is if you unscrew the bulb. But now I can't unscrew the bulb because the metal part that goes into the socket is stuck and just the white plastic is hanging off by a wire. And obviously the light was unplugged. I'm not that stupid. I'm pretty stupid, but I'm not that stupid. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. So there was a little bit of a thread that the white plastic and the metal tip could weave to, but the plastic was kind of shaving off. I wonder if, because these lights were so cheap, basically the company that made this light bulb just used adhesive to attach the white plastic part of the bulb to the metal socket, and because it's gotten so hot here, you know, especially in this room compared to the rest of the house, it gets way hotter in here for whatever reason. Maybe it's just because of the way the sun hits it or something, but the rest of the house isn't too bad. But in here it just gets super hot, and because our AC system is not flawless, it does okay, but it's not that great. We just decide close off the rooms we don't spend a lot of time in once we're done with work. So when I get off work, I leave this door shut, and we just let this room get, you know, as hot as it wants because we're not going to be inside it. So maybe because of the, you know, 110 and 112 degree weather in this room getting super hot compared to the rest of the house, that adhesive must have just detached, and that's why the light bulb came out. But I basically got the bulb to thread back into the metal tip, and then I plugged it into the wall, and then it started working. Stonks. Or no, not stonks. Mechanic moment. So I I fiddled with it for a long time. The light didn't want to turn on. I tried different outlets. It didn't want to turn on. Unscrewed it, screwed it back in, and then it worked. So that's the story of the studio light so far. What do you think of your iPhone SE that you got for Mint? You'll have to ask Louise sometime. She seems to be enjoying it. I mean, she has no complaints. A lot of people are always interested in Louise's tech preferences, but the truth is she has very little thought put into it. She just doesn't care. She wants what works and what is cheap. That's pretty much the only thing that matters to her. I don't post enough on Talos of food. That's true, Ariel Sims. I agree. We need more food content. The problem is we don't have any food. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I'm running WatchOS 7 beta. What watch face do I use? I mix it up a bit. Right now I'm using the time-lapse watch face. It looks good. It's classic. Let's see. Do you think the Apple stores would reopen in time for the 12? No, I don't think so. I think the stores are going to stay closed, and Apple would not want to be the company accused of causing crowds or big lines or big groups and that kind of thing. So because of that, I think Apple's just going to actively tell people at the event in October or whatever to say just like the iPhones are not going to be at the Apple stores on launch day. The fastest way to get the new iPhone is to order it online and have it shipped to you. I think they're going to just tell people don't come to the stores. They're not going to be there. And they're going to try to make that really upfront because iPhone launch day is pretty much the biggest day for every Apple store in the year. And they don't want to draw a bunch of people. Even if, I mean, cases are not looking great right now, to be honest. I've been tracking it a little bit more because I felt like people have just kind of started ignoring. But I've been watching the number of cases reported. They're not really at an all-time low or anything like that. If anything, they're kind of peaking right now. And I don't see that changing. Even if it did go down significantly by October or November, I still don't think they would chance it. I'm pretty sure they're going to just tell people, not worth it. We're not going to invite people out to stores intentionally until COVID is long gone and, you know, there's very, very little to talk about, basically. Let's see. Leah Knight super chatted. Thank you very much. Says, what do you think of the new Samsung Pay bank card, potentially UK only? One card for all your different bank cards powered by Curve. I currently have the Curve card, and it works great in the UK. Well, you are asking, sir, the absolute idiot when it comes to UK banking potential, because I know literally nothing about that, but it sounds nice. I haven't read about it. I've barely heard of it. I just briefly saw it in my headlines, but because I don't live in the UK, I didn't really look too into it. But it sounds interesting. Someone was calling it an Apple Card competitor, and I don't really see how that's a thing, especially when you can sign up for multiple credit cards. So I don't really get why people were treating it that way. But, yeah, I don't know. To answer your question, Jordan, older videos get taken down for lots of reasons. I think in that particular case, it was because of the music being used. I think the creator of the music used for that video notified us. It was a long time ago. I think it was a couple of years ago that we posted it, and then it was a year or two ago that they asked us to take it down, basically. That I didn't edit the video. I helped shoot it, but an old editor of mine, Nathan, edited it, and basically they told us don't use that music. So we took it down out of respect. That happens. There's a lot of older videos that get taken down because they have things that people didn't want shown in them, and we weren't quite sure. It happens less so now because I edit everything myself, so I can be overly careful and make sure I don't use stuff that people don't like. But we've learned from that. Let's see. Apple should have replaced Force Touch with 2-finger long press. That would have been worse, in my opinion. The way I've used WatchOS 7 for a while now. Force Touch really wasn't necessary. I thought it was necessary for a long time on the Apple Watch because it's such a small display, but seeing how they've redesigned it, it's faster now. It's actually much, much faster to use just the buttons, the redesigned buttons. Like before, you would have to press hard to hit clear all notifications. Now there's just a button there that you can just tap once and it's gone, instead of long with 2 press and hold with 2 fingers. That would cover up the entire display. It's honestly just better to not have it at all. And seeing how they've redesigned the OS, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. They should have left it that way. Rockford Media, thank you for the big super chat. Wow, thank you guys. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 was launched. Yeah, I heard about that. I saw a lot of people posting screen recordings of that. I don't really plan on playing it, but I remember playing the original Microsoft Simulator when I was real little. It's cool to see Microsoft still working on those kinds of projects and having them look all realistic and hyper real and photoreal type stuff. It's interesting. I don't think I'll try it, but it's cool to see how far they've come. For all the people asking about the Apple versus Epic situation, we kind of went all over that in the latest tech podcast and in the latest Twitch stream. And we've basically covered the subject for multiple hours, which is why I'm hesitant to bring it up in this live stream, just because there's already like 5 hours worth of Tailosive content covering the Apple versus Epic thing. So I'm kind of like, you know what? Let's try to move into different subjects for talks. I mean, I don't mind talking about tech, but that subject in particular we've really, really dove into on other platforms. Let's see. Can you show us on your watch? I don't have any notifications right now. I'm trying to find an example. Okay, so beforehand, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, man, it's so hard to see. Okay, beforehand, if you wanted to compose a new message in iMessage, you would have to press hard, and then it would give you the option to compose a new message. Now, in WatchOS 7, when you open the Messages app, there's just a button. It's just a blue button that just shows up once the app is opened. You could just hit New Message, which saves much more time. It's faster than Force Touch, and it would definitely be faster than pressing with 2 fingers. Let's see. Can I do that with email? Yeah. Same thing with email. Before, you would have to press hard to compose an email. Now, it's just a button at the top. And it's basically the same thing with notifications. If you swipe down, I don't have any right now, but if you'd swipe down, there'd be a button at the top that says clear all notifications, which is much faster than Force Touch, like objectively. Also in WatchOS 7, they sped up the animations like twice as fast. So things open faster, things close faster, things activate quicker. Overall, it was just more thought out. Let's see. Hard-hitting question, Volume 3. Do you like avocados? Ooh, thank you, Mike. Thank you. We need more hard-hitting, tough questions like this one. I generally like avocados. I like them in things, and I love guacamole, but I think it's just pure, straight avocados that sometimes I can have a hard time with. I'm really not a picky eater. I don't mind avocado, but I think when I was little, I used to eat a lot of it, and when I would eat too much of it, it was like a texture problem for me. Too much of the same texture, and it would start to make me a little bit sick. I don't think avocados have ever made me vomit, but it gave me that kind of queasy feeling after a certain amount of time. Cats or dogs? Asks Samantha Griffin. This is going to sound selfish, but as you guys know, I'm not a pet person in the first place. I prefer cats over dogs because of how quiet they are. And in my opinion, it's just cats typically have different personalities than dogs. Dogs are too up in my face a lot of the time. You know, like whenever we go to certain people's houses, dogs run up to you right away and they jump up on you and they're clawing you and they're licking you. They want to just get their saliva, get their tongue all over you. And cats feel like most of the time they got their own stuff to do. They gotta just, you know, cats are like, hey, what's up? And then they move along. They've got other things to do. You can play with them and they're entertaining and they're fun, but at the same time, they're not super loud. They keep to themselves, and they feel less like a baby, whereas dogs feel like you can't leave them alone, otherwise they're going to start howling, start barking. Whereas a cat, you can kind of just leave it be for days. As long as they got food and water, they'll be fine. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Another super chat. Dunkin' or Starbucks? I'm really not a big fan of either, to be honest with you. The last time I went to Starbucks was my birthday, because on your birthday you can get a drink for free. And I think the last couple times I've been to Starbucks, I got a drink for free because me and my wife don't drink coffee in the first place, so we never like intentionally go out to Starbucks to get a drink. The only time we'll go there is if like other people are going there, and they offer to get us something, then we'll drink something. Like, I think when we went to visit Randy, we got something that he bought us something from Starbucks. It was pretty good. I don't even remember what cookie crumble something. It was tasty, but I wouldn't pay money for it. And then once a year on my birthday, we go there, get a free drink, and that's about it. Dunkin', we don't have a lot of where I live. There's not that many Dunkin' Donuts around here. The only time I've been there was when I was at the Orlando airport visiting Louise, and we were on our way back from Florida. They had a Dunkin' in the airport, and I was like, you know what? Let's try that one out. And I didn't like it. Couldn't care for it. I love donuts. I didn't get a coffee or anything from there, but the truth is, I'm a huge Krispy Kreme fan. I think Krispy Kreme donuts are the best. I love how light they are. I love how they dissolve in your mouth, and they're so sweet, and they have a variety of flavors. You're looking at a Krispy Kreme Rewards member right now, which is probably bad for my health. But to be honest, we don't even buy stuff from there that much. The only time we go to Krispy Kreme is when they're offering some super good deal, and they'll email it to me. But it took me like 2 years, I think. Typically, we only go there once every like 3 months or so. It's not that often. But it took me several years. I finally got enough. Yeah, it is kind of expensive. It's kind of a pricey donut, but it's good. It took me 2 years, but I finally got enough rewards points through the Krispy Kreme app that I got any dozen for free. So that was our last time. I think that was a couple weeks ago. It was like you could get any dozen at no charge because I had gone to the store enough times. We were like, okay, we went, we got the free dozen. Now we're not going for the rest of the year. So we just drew our line. We were like, okay, you know what? No more Krispy Kremes until 2021. So that's where we are now. Yeah, Krispy Kreme cannot be beaten. I'm glad we agree there. I haven't, but maybe the Dunkin' Donuts I went to, because it was in an airport, maybe that's why it was bad. It's maybe not a fair comparison. I got to try a different one someday. I don't know. December 25th is your birthday. Everything is closed. Oh, okay. Rockford Media is like Jesus. I see how it works. That sucks. Everything is closed, though. I think actually a lot of reward points are not like you have to come in on your actual birthday. You can just, they give you a free drink for your birthday and you can redeem it at some point in the week or something like that. Let's see. I'm about to start a YouTube channel full on. Oh, congratulations, Jordan. Good luck with that. That's exciting. YouTube channel full on. Good luck. Hope it goes well. Let's see. What's my music taste? I talked about this on the latest tech podcast. I haven't really been listening to music as much anymore because my lifestyle doesn't really support it. Like in school days, it was a lot easier because there was a lot of time between classes and you wanted to tune things out. Or back when I did work at the Mandarin Ranch, I would always put in music while mowing the lawn and that kind of thing. But nowadays, it's like I'm either filming, streaming, or editing. And when I'm editing, I typically have a YouTube video going, not music. And then when I'm done with work, I'm spending time with my wife, either playing tennis or going on hikes or watching TV. So there's just not a lot of times in my life anymore I listen to music, which is why, in case you haven't seen the latest tech podcast, I'm canceling my Apple Music subscription, which I never thought I would do. I thought for the longest time, I was like, no, the service is too good. I can't afford to lose it. So yeah, but because of lifestyle changes and just trying to cut out those memberships, we're not doing Apple Music anymore. Yeah, I think this happens every time. A lot of people are notifying me again. Taylor, MKBHD listens to your podcast. For one, I don't think he does. I think he just has it added to his library, but I don't think that means he listens to it. He has left the Talos of Tech podcast album art within his podcast app for years now. The first time it happened was in March of 2019. He was reviewing some phone, and I think it was the Pixel 3 or something. He was showing his Pixel, and he opened the podcast app, and the Talos of Tech podcast was in there. And everyone's like, oh, Drew, you're in the MKBHD video. You're there. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's nice. And then every time he does that, people notify me again. So it's been sick. It would be 3 months later, and then he'd be doing another review, open the podcast app, and we're like, Drew, you're in the MQBHD video. Another 3 months. Drew, you're in the... And now we're doing it again in August of 2020. Drew, I saw your album art. I saw the podcast. It's very cool. I probably sound nitpicky and greedy, but I'm just saying it's not a new thing. We've known this for well over a year, but people keep acting like it's news. I guess they don't know, which is fine. But yes, it's cool. It's cool to see a big YouTuber like that listening to, or at least adding your album art to their library of sorts. It's kind of weird to see. Yes, also the Talos of Tech podcast album art was in an Apple commercial, which is really cool. What will you use instead, and will it work well with your HomePods? Well, like I said, I don't listen to music that much in the first place. So the HomePods, not getting a ton of use out of them right now. I used to back when... my wife had to go to a building to work. Then I would just blast music a lot of the time throughout the house. But now she's working from home and she's taking phone calls, so I'm typically using headphones, or at least keeping the audio on my computer rather quiet. But one of the reasons I'm okay with changing is that in the latest iOS beta for the HomePod, they're now allowing you to change the default music playing service, so you can set it to a different music streaming. So I still pay for YouTube Premium, which means I get YouTube Music. I could try to sell them, but I know I would get next to nothing for them, because I've tried to sell smart speakers and they never sell for anything decent. Like, if I tried to sell the HomePods, I'd probably have a hard time getting someone to pay $100 for them, and I'm not joking. Oh, Mike wants to buy one off me. Well, just DM me. We can talk more about that. I don't think you want them. You could probably just buy them new, but mine are all dusty and old, but I don't know. We could talk more about it. What's your ideal Apple One bundle? My ideal. Let me think. How about if you use the Apple Card, you get every Apple service for free? That would be ideal. That's how I would sign up for Apple One. I know they wouldn't do that, but man, probably Apple Music and TV Plus for $10 a month. That seems doable. I would be impressed if they could swing that, because it would just basically mean getting Apple Music individual plan would be ridiculous. You would just be better off getting Music and TV Plus. It's the same price. Why not? So probably like News Plus, Arcade, TV Plus, and Apple Music for like $16, $17 a month. That would be impressive to me. I don't think it'll be that low. That seems too good. I think Apple would lose too much money. What's Sam K asking? If you could delete Twitter right now with no personal repercussions, would you? No, I like Twitter. I know some people get fed up with social media and they just want to be done with it, but I think they don't like the people they're interacting with on Twitter, and that pushes them away. But as a social media, it's probably one of my favorites. I like that it's one of the few places I can actually get news updates alongside like YouTuber and friends, and you can follow all kinds of groups. You can follow a company, you can follow a news agency, you can follow your friend down the street, you can follow a neighbor, a family member. There's just so much collective, and you can organize it into, the latest tweets at the top. And I like how everything has to be brief. I like how you have to limit the number of characters, because it forces people from going off too much on big, long tangents. So I kind of like it. That's where I get most of my news. That's where I read most of what's going on. And I like being able to notify people through Twitter about new videos, or here's what I'm working on. I like doing polls and that kind of thing. I like Twitter. So I wouldn't delete it unless it changed and became much, much worse. There's a lot of problems I have with Twitter. It's definitely not perfect, but in regards to how different social medias are managed, I think Twitter's probably one of my favorites. It's up there, that's for sure. Ian Lindsay super chatted, thank you. Says, would you rather use an iPhone 6 or a Google Pixel 4a as your main device? Well, my general rule is at a certain point, iPhones get so old that they can't really keep up with the latest features. So in my opinion, I will always take the iPhone if it can run the latest operating system, but if it's so old that it can't run the latest OS, then I will take the newer Android. Because, Ian, I've gotten that question a million times. Like, would you rather do Pixel versus iPhone 3 or that kind of thing? And there's all kinds of combinations you can come up with. So in that case, iPhone 6, it can't run iOS 14, which means that I'm kind of losing out on features anyway. So I kind of lose a lot of those ecosystem advantages in the first place. So in that case, I should be getting the Pixel 4a tomorrow, actually. Google sent me the tracking number. So stay tuned for that. I should be unboxing it tomorrow. Tech video might be a little later than usual, but... Oh, yeah, it's close. Oh, it's really close. Cool. Okay. It won't get here today, but most definitely tomorrow. That's cool. So, yeah, I think the 4A is a good deal. I think the 4A is a solid price for what you get out of it, and I think I'm going to end up recommending it, even though I'm not typically a Pixel guy. So, Rockford Media super chatted, I hate Reddit. What's your thoughts? I don't hate it. It definitely feels like any social media, you have to know kind of how to use it. It's not that black and white of it's bad, it's good. You can really find rabbit holes on Reddit, though. There are so many threads I've gotten lost in of just like, oh, this person brings up a really good point. Oh, this person brings a really good point. It's kind of, Reddit is kind of the glorified comment section. It's so good at, the upvote in putting the most relevant or the most effective posts at the top of the comments and that kind of thing. I don't really love the UI or the design. A lot of it feels wasteful when you have different lines going down for every thread, and it gets more and more smushed to the one side. So I'm not in love with the user interface, but yeah, there's parts of it I like, but it's definitely not my favorite. Would I ever move to Texas? I don't really have much of an issue with it. I don't know if my wife would like it that much, which is important because I want her to be happy, and I wouldn't be happy if she wasn't. So I don't know if she would love it there, but I just haven't spent much time there. I would think I would need to take a trip there and kind of get a lay of the land before I could judge whether or not I would want to move there. The housing prices I've seen are really competitive, which is what I like. I've seen a lot of really, really nice houses you can get in Texas for cheap compared to California. And I've just been like, hey, that looks kind of dope. Yeah, when COVID goes away, maybe I'll have to check out Scott's place and get a feel of the land for Texas. But frankly, moving is hard. Moving is expensive and complicated. And we don't have a lot of good reason to move, especially now that our house is paid off and we don't really have much interest in selling it really, really quick. Yeah, property tax is high. So there's I'm sure there's pros and cons, but I like that the housing prices is cool. I appreciate that. But the government kind of gets it back from you with the property tax and that kind of thing. Let's see. Would you move to Colorado? My dad was born in Colorado. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I've never been there. Nick is from there. He has nice things to say about it, but I've never visited there, so I don't know. No state income tax is nice. That is good. We do have state income tax here, which is definitely not fun, but I don't know if I'm willing to move out of state just to avoid state income tax, because self-employment tax is mainly federal, and I would not save that much on state income tax. A lot of people, in my opinion, maybe it's different if you're not self-employed, but in my opinion, a lot of people over-exaggerate how bad taxes are in California. Frankly, it's like people will spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to move out of California to save a few $1,000s on state income tax. Maybe they just don't like the idea of it. Let's see. Can you have a small fit? It's funny. What do you mean a small fit? You like when I get angry? You won't like me when I'm angry. Yes. I did watch the SpaceX launch. I am really glad they were finally able to land a rocket 6 times. That's crazy. It's a big milestone for rocket reusability. So I'm glad to see. I try to watch as many of those as I can. No, I'm not going to do my reaction to them because I don't think it'd be very interesting. But it's cool. I like seeing how they are launching so many satellites at once and then able to land them within like 10 minutes. Let's see. If you could tell young Drew one thing, what would it be? Ooh, so many. If I could only... There's so many things I would want to tell young me. What would it be? Probably some type of really, really specific leak so that everybody would follow me on Twitter so I could crown myself as the most accurate leaker of all time. No, that's not a good one. I'd probably say not to worry about... It depends on how young. If it was pre-2015 Drew and earlier, I would say don't be attached to. Don't worry about anyone you know right now. Basically, don't put too much. Don't put too much hype or excitement into any of your current plans, because everything you know is going to change. I wish I could go back to earlier me and be like, you're wrong on so many things. The way you think your life is going to go is not going to go that way. Something like that. Just telling myself to focus on YouTube. Just stick to that. Don't worry about school. Don't worry about people. Don't worry about pleasing certain people in your life. Just focus on YouTube. That's all that you should really prioritize right now. But maybe that would have turned me into an overly obsessed YouTuber that never prioritizes anybody in his life. So I don't know. It's probably good that future Drew didn't talk to younger Drew. Who knows? Apple is going to make this phone. It's going to have 3 cameras. Believe me, everyone will love it. Yeah, then I could go back in 2014 and be like, guys, here's the naming scheme. Here's what they're going to call it. Only worry about Louise. You're going to see this woman. Her name is Louise. She's your queen. Can we have a reacted version of the far superior and obviously better than crapple PPDC event of the Samsung Unpacked on the Tailosive main channel? I can't do the event reaction things, but yeah, that one was funny. It would have basically just been me laughing a lot, because that's all that happened. Let's see. Rockford Media Super Chat. It says, when you were talking about your lifestyle, you said being married gave a whole lot of structure, and it's not just because my wife Louise cracks the whip and we all have to work this way. I did say that? Being married gave a whole lot of structure, and it's not just because my wife Louise cracks the whip and we all have to work this. I don't remember saying that exactly. Thank you for the Super Chat, but I will say that it's not so much. Louise isn't a forceful person. In fact, most of the time she's like, you should take the day off. Or, just this morning she was like, why don't you just have a relaxed day and just make one video and call it good? And I was like, no, I want to make tech and EV. I want to do a YouTube stream. And a lot of the time she's very, very adopting. I don't mean it to come across as Louise is like makes me or forces me to do things, because I thought about just being like, you know what, maybe I won't do the YouTube stream today because I had to fix the light, and that took a lot longer than anticipated, and the computer was acting a little weird today, so I was just like, you know what, I'll just skip the YouTube stream. And she's like, no, don't worry about it. And I was like, you get off work at 2 though, so I want to be done with work when you get off work. And she's like, don't worry about it, just stream. I can wait, I'll be patient. So she's very, very respectful and polite to my time, and also at the same time making sure I get time to relax. And she thinks I work too much. And I think the difference is when you're just living your life with someone and you're not just accountable for yourself, but now your actions and your choices affect someone else along with you. I think most people who are married can kind of attest to it. It's like, because you're in partnership with someone and your choices and your behavior affects another person directly. That's why that's what affects you to try to push yourself to be better, because you're like, well, I want to be good for them, or I want to help them, or I want to help them reach their goals, and in the same way I help Louise reach her goals, and you kind of push each other in a positive way. So that's what I like about being married, is because before I was married, I didn't really care if I made poor decisions for myself, because it was like, hey, if YouTube crashes and burns and I don't have enough money to pay rent, oh well, I don't really care. If I need to move back in with my parents, whatever, they'll probably not mind. So I just kind of had this very careless, thoughtless attitude. And now when you're married, you're like, no, that's not an option anymore. I can't be like, sorry, honey, I ran out of money. It's not, you don't want to be that. So that's why I don't have that mentality anymore, I guess. It's like, Louise has certain goals she wants to reach. I have certain goals I want to reach, and we help each other get there. Yeah. No, PewDiePie decided you're not a simp if you're married. That disqualifies the simp term. It's exactly what you said. I checked. Oh, okay. Thank you for the super chat. Do you think the new Tesla Roadster should be priced higher? Yeah. They could probably get away with charging more for it because of how insane the performance is. The thing is, if they'd probably get some backlash if they released the Roadster and it was like $300,000, because people are like, hey, you said it'd be 200 grand, but at the end of the day, you could still argue like, well, there's not a cheaper supercar that's better. So, you know, who cares that it's more expensive than they promised? It's still way, way cheaper than you think. I don't know. Chris Norton super chatted. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Said hello again. Hello to you, sir. Oh, my God. Sorry, honey, I ran out of money. Amazing to think that's a sentence. You don't want that to be a sentence. You don't want that to happen. Has Louise ever thought of making a YouTube channel? Oh, yeah, she has. I mean, she started the Ericksons, but she kind of messed around with it and realized, it's not really her thing. She didn't really enjoy it that much, so she experimented with it, but wasn't too crazy about it. Let's see. Soulrack M7 says, I am blind and I'm wondering if my messages are going through. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Okay. If you were Apple, how would you release the new Apple products? I like the online events. I think they do a good job. I like the quadruple UDC. If they could just do that again for Apple hardware. Though I would rather it be in September than October. That's probably the only change I would make. I don't know why they have to wait longer. But, oh well. Let's see. He's a full-time YouTuber. Yes, that's true. I am into YouTube full-time, in case you didn't know. I see that brought up a lot on the EV channel, which I find funny. People are like, this guy needs to get a job. I'm like, this is it. I have peaked in life. This is as good as it gets. I like that. It's funny because if you ask people... If you ask people in my personal life how Drew thinks or what Drew thinks about Tesla, they would all say I'm a fanboy and I obsess over them and I think they're way cooler and they're way more exciting than they actually are. Or people in the Discord, they're like, Drew, I think you go a little overboard with Tesla sometimes. I don't think you kind of fanboy over them a little too hard. But yet when I do EV videos and I try to compare like, here's an issue people have with EVs, and here's how Tesla could combat it, or here's how they could fix it. People always watch the videos and go, Drew, why are you so hurtful? Why are you so hateful against Tesla? I don't think you get it. Teslas are way better than you say they are. They're like, why? That's not a problem. Why do you keep saying that's a problem? So it's like the EV channel thinks I'm too critical. People in my personal life think I'm too generous. So it kind of... I'm kind of like, maybe the EV videos aren't fanboyish enough. We need more fanboying. You are such a critic of Tesla, but very much in favor of them to succeed. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we all know the healthy position to be in is you can be a fan of a company and also want them to do better or admit that they have faults in certain places. There's even certain YouTube channels I watch where I go, I think they go a little bit overboard with the Tesla stuff. The one that comes to mind for me is Solving the Money Problem. I'm not trying to hate on that channel. I like his videos a lot, and I watch all of them. I'm subscribed. He's really well spoken, and he edits well, and I like his videos. But sometimes he goes off on these little Tesla, I don't know how else to call them, Tesla worship moments where I'm like, oh, okay, calm down. We get it. You know, that's why in my videos, I like to admit, like, it's okay to have a really amazing, impressive company that has some faults. You know, it's not the whole product and the whole company is bad. It's just there's some things they could improve on. Of course, I think anybody with a reasonable mind would think that way. They think that way about any company. Probably lots of Tailosive fans think that way. You can be a big fan of the Tailosive network and be like, yeah, but I wish Drew did this differently. I wish Drew did this differently. That's okay. That's normal. But there's sometimes reactions where I'm just like, okay, you're never even admitting there's a fault of some kind. They just say they're perfect in every way and you can't stop them and there is no way to ever beat them. Like, whew, okay. Let's see. Are you actually on Discord? Is there like a secretary that writes messages for you? Kitten, I couldn't afford that. Of course not. No, it's me. I'm the one on Discord. There's no secretary that pretends to be me. That's stupid. I wouldn't do that. If it says Tailosive in blue letters with the American flag and everything and the picture of me with the face mask on, it's me. No one else has control of that account. Let's see. Drew's calling calling now. Rear-wheel drive Y will be white and called the Sheep. I wish. I want to get that one, but I just don't see it happening. It's not a big priority right now. Let's see. When are you planning to get one? We don't really have a plan. We don't really have that much of a timeline in place just because we want to invest more right now, and we barely drive our car as it is, so there's not really much reason to spend $50,000 on an electric car given we hardly drive in the first place. So there's no timeline. There's all kinds of Teslas I would be happy with. I'm not really that picky about which one. I'd be happy with a Model 3. I'd be happy with a Cybertruck. I'd probably be happy with a Model S, even an older one. I don't mind, but it's just not really a priority right now. Someday we'll get there. Yeah, Drew and Taylosive are two different people. I've always been thinking it'd be funny to someday do some type of Taylosive Tech, Taylosive EV collab video. And just like duplicate myself and do a podcast where it's me and me talking back and forth. That'd be kind of funny. Let's see. When do you think Apple will become a $2 trillion company? Weren't they close? I thought they were at like 1.9 already. How far away are they right now? They're at they're at 1.97 trillion. So they could become 2 trillion, I mean, any day. I mean, it could happen in the next week, for all I know. It's hard to predict exactly what the market will do. If you could, you would be a very rich person, but I don't know. Have you done anything with the monitor that's sitting on the floor? Yes, I moved it from this side of the room to this side of the room because we've been cleaning up the house today. Although, not today, the last couple of weeks. We kind of redesigned, reorganized our living room. There's much more plants. There's so many plants in the living room. My God. I think we'll do a vlog about it eventually. We haven't got around to it yet, but I wanna do a plant tour because Louise is the way about plants that I am about tech. She's all over it. She loves plants. She wants more plants. We can't get enough plants. We literally have run out of window space for plants in the house. There are so many of them. Yeah, we need more plants. Let's see. Do you think foldables are overrated? Yes, for sure. That episode would actually just be really depressing if you think about it, having a discussion with yourself. That's what I do every day. I'm doing it right now. Let's see. It would be funny. You would do things where you play a character and you talk back and forth to show hypothetical situations, so that would be a good extension of that. Pretty much, yeah. I could do it. Yo! No plant coming out! The event is this September! If Louise could do a YouTube channel just for plants, I bet she would. She totally would. Michael, is there a good way for someone, because obviously when we're doing a YouTube stream, I'm not going to be able to help someone appeal their ban. Should they DM someone on Discord if they've been banned? Or is there a plan in place for that kind of thing? Are you optimistic about the Z Fold 2? Not really. It doesn't seem like it's going to change anything. It's just going to be... The people who buy the Fold 2 are pretty much going to be the same people who bought the Fold 1. Whoa, plant with no leaf. Do we have a plant? Yeah, we do have a plant with no leaf, pretty much. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Michael said if they have been banned, they should try and DM a moderator. We are working on a ban appeal system right now, but it will take a while. Yeah, see, that's the problem, is that what always happens, I'm fairly active in our Discord. A lot of people seem to not realize that, but I'm like top 10, one of the most, I think I'm number 8 or number 7. I'm one of the most active members in our Discord, and I am pretty aware of who gets banned and why. And most of the time, they're doing something pretty obvious that's not allowed either by Discord terms of service, or they're doing something that clearly is bannable. And we ban people for obvious things all the time. It's like, well, yeah, we can't allow that. That's not okay. But then what happens is then we got all these comments on other platforms, whether it's a YouTube or Twitter or somewhere, that just says, I got banned for saying hi, or I got banned for no reason. And I'm like, I just don't see that happening that much. So I'm sure I'm not really getting the whole story. So if you DM a moderator, we can trace back exactly why you were banned, what happened, and that makes it a lot easier instead of just commenting, I got banned for no reason, because obviously a lot of people say that all the time, even if it's not the case. So coming up with a ban appeal system is kind of tricky, because obviously the person requesting the appeal is not going to admit that they made a mistake. They're not going to say, I was in the wrong, I apologize, I won't do that again. Most of the time they're just like, I wasn't doing anything wrong and yet you banned me anyway. And that's all. And it's like, and then we look back, we're like, okay, what was the account? And they say the account. We look back, oh no, you were spamming here, or you said this, or you broke terms of service here. They did something against the rules, but they'll just say they didn't do anything. So it's kind of useless. What was the longest video you ever made that isn't a live stream? Ooh. I think I've definitely broke the 30 and 40 minute mark a few times. I've done a few product reviews. I could be wrong, but I think it was the Tailosive iOS versus Android video. No, okay, never mind. I misremembered. That was only 28 minutes. That's not that long. Tailosive, there's probably a rant video. How long was the Pixel Slate? That was 23 minutes, really? I thought that was long. Oh, the Pixel Book was 29 minutes. That was a pretty long video. Pixel 3 XL rant was 33 minutes. That's getting up there. Do you guys know? I feel like you watch my videos more than I do. What is the longest edited Tailosive video? Yeah, I remember making one that was around 40 as well. No, the Pixel Slate video was 23 minutes. It's not that long. 3XL is the longest one I can find. The fattest video. You know what's funny about that is it got a lot of views too. It has like 137,000 views, despite it being 33 minutes. Yes, I got iOS 14 Beta 5. It's running fine. Silent. Yes, that's pretty much exactly how it goes. Please, Mr. Drew, unban me. I didn't do anything. Drew just responds with, dang, that's crazy, bro, but when did I ask? That's pretty much how it goes. The truth is, there are tons of people every day that we interact with the Discord that have been in there for months, if not years, and we get along fine. And they're not mods or they're not members. They're just average people that are in the Discord. And somehow they can get by. But at the same time, we also get a few people that say, oh, they banned me there for no reason. They banned me for having an opinion. No, trust me. We would ban so many more people if we banned people for an opinion. We got a big list of people we wish we could ban, but they haven't done anything wrong, so we don't. We put them on a list of if only. Pretty much. Yeah. Don't be a jerk. You won't get banned. The iPhone 10 video. Talos. Okay, let me find that one. iPhone 10. Best smartphone ever review. I remember that one. Yeah, 35 minutes. Okay, that's a record. 35 minutes, 8 seconds, and it got 186,000 views. Maybe I should be doing longer videos. Why do I think I need to make small? Maybe just reviews I should do longer. Let's see. Do you ban people who spam? Yes. Drew, that's cool. But do you guys think the Cybertruck is too big? Do I say that? I don't recall saying that. I think most people think the truck is too big. What about the memory bug or the battery drain? I haven't ever had a battery drain issue. The memory bug was fixed in the last update. Yeah, I don't have the memory bug. Okay, can someone find a video that I edited, not a live stream, that's over 35 minutes? Because that seems to be the longest one I can find. So we're not counting podcasts or live streams, even though a podcast can technically be edited. That one's 18 minutes. I'm trying to find one. What about iPhone Edition? That's what I used to call it. That's what I wanted it to be called. Where is it? Best smartphone ever review. That's the biggest one I can find. Oh, the iPhone edition release only got 60,000 views. I remember working so hard on that one. All for nothing. Maybe this is why I stopped doing long videos, is because you can put a bunch of work into something and then like no one cares. So that's why I'm like, well, I'm not going to put too much time into my videos because people aren't going to put too much thought into my videos anyway. They're going to watch it once and then forget about it. Unless it's a pixel rant, in which case they'll be watching it years later for the 13th time. Except Nick, it's still too small for him. I think we should get him a tank and call it a day. I think Nick needs Starship. Starship could support 100 people or one Nick and Sweeney on the inside. Do you check your Twitter DMs? Not really. Not much. Apple Sheep unfairly nitpicks the headphone jack for 1 hour and 32 minutes. I can't think of that many things to talk about for the headphone jack. Let's see. Even to this day, remember your joke about the Galaxy Note whatever. I should have said the fuse. Oh yeah, I remember that one. The fuse. Let's see. Ethan McClare. What? There's still a chance 120 hertz will come this year? No, not likely. Fortnite didn't get 120 support until earlier this year, so I would argue it wasn't all that useful until recently. But yeah, that's not a good argument anymore. With Fortnite on not available on with Fortnite not on iOS anymore, why do we need 120 hertz, right? I can't find your Pixelbook rant. Really? I just looked at it. Telosive Pixel. Let me see what videos come up there. Pixelbook for half an hour. That was 29 minutes. Ooh, the first Google Pixel, not even the Pixel 2. The very first one I did a 30-minute rant on. That's pretty long. Man, now I'm really curious. I'm sorry. I did not expect to be searching my old YouTube videos during the stream, but now I really want to know what the longest edited video is. So far, I think it's the best smartphone ever review, which was 35 minutes. All right, Ariel, have a good day. Take care. Sleep well. Are you disappointed about the iPhone 12 coming out this year? No. There's some things about it I find disappointing, but overall, I'm still very excited to see it. I think it'll be cool. I'm excited to see the redesign. I like that OLED is becoming standard. I'm curious about the A14 chip. I want 120 hertz, but I've lived with iPhones without 120 hertz for years now, so it's not the end of the world for me, but I still think it's a massive missed opportunity. But I think a lot of us are just used to hearing the same iPhone 12 news all the time. So what is truly new to the lineup, we've all gotten used to already. Like, we've known for 8-9 months now that there's going to be OLED across 4 different models. It's going to be new form factors. You're so used to that, you've heard it so many times that it's not even new to you, where we don't really realize that the majority of the people who are buying the iPhone 12, the average consumer, they don't know that stuff. They don't follow leaks. They don't follow iPhone rumors. So when the new design comes out and the OLED displays are made cheap and they see this updated design language, that's all going to be brand new to them. It may seem old news to us, but to them it's going to be like, whoa, the iPhones look totally different. I don't care about the notch. Even if it's the same size, it's like, okay, whatever. I don't notice the notch in the first place. That's cool, but will the iPhone 12 get 120 hertz? I know it won't now. It should, but it's not going to, based on basically what display supply chains have been saying about the IC drivers needed to support 120 hertz aren't present in the hardware, so it's not physically possible. iPad Pro unboxing, I think that's a live stream. I don't think it's a 1 hour and 16-minute edited video. We're talking non-live stream. What's the longest Talos video? iPad Pro. I'll search it again. 17 minutes. Yeah, the live unboxing, that's different because it was, again, live. Nope, I don't see anything longer, edited-wise. Do you, Nick, and Randy have plans to meet up again this year? No, nothing immediate. Typically, what we started doing in 2018 was we wanted to meet up in person at least once a year. And we did it this year. So we're probably not going to do it again this year, sadly. Um, Unless some massive plans change. But no, I don't think so. Rockford Media super chatted again. Thank you very much. Says, Drew, if you get super angry, do you yell and curse? I can't see you doing that. I don't get that angry. I think Louise can even attest to that. There's very few situations in life where I just get like mad. Typically, I just get like disappointed in the situation and I get frustrated. But that doesn't make me like get angry and yell and curse. I do curse. I curse a lot off camera, but not because I'm angry, just because it's fun. I just don't do it online because people are watching. So I wouldn't go, there's people here I don't know. I wouldn't go around to people. I wouldn't go to a group of people I wasn't aware of and just start dropping F-bombs constantly. But if I'm with people I'm comfortable with and I know they don't mind cursing, then I curse. But I don't do it just because I'm angry. Let's see. I could just be a newbie in tech again and be excited for every single iPhone. I don't know. Maybe this is why I found 2017 the peak. iPhone 10, Note 8, S8. Yeah, that was a good year. That was really exciting. That was a good year. Have you ever almost cursed on camera? I think I have a few times. I think if you go back and watch enough live streams, you'll probably catch a couple moments. Oh, yeah. It's happened. Let's see. What's a category that Apple isn't in / rumored to be in that you'd like to see them get into? But there's not that many choices. I mean, there's a lot of things they're not in that I wish they would get into. But if you're asking that they need to also be rumored to get into that, there's not too many. There's pretty much like augmented reality glasses and maybe an electric car, but it doesn't sound like they're going to be pursuing that. So glasses are pretty much the only one. I want Apple to do all kinds of stuff. Let's see. AirPods versus AirPods Pro. AirPods Pro still have a hard time staying in my ear, so I'm not going to swear off regular AirPods, to be honest. AirPower's not coming back. There's not been any credible leak to suggest it's coming back. Just abandon it. Leave it. It's gone. Forget about it. Let's see. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, that's me. Typically, if I'm in an awkward, uncomfortable, or frustrating situation, I just get really, really quiet and serious. I don't get, like, yelly. I rarely, if I'm in a tough situation, I don't start yelling at people. That's just not how I've been, ever. Let's see. I've never heard of Storyfire, which is probably its biggest issue with competing against YouTube. It's not hard to make a website that people can host videos on. What's difficult is getting people to go on it. That's the different thing. Let's see. Rockford Media super chatted, said, you accidentally cursed on a call with me and my friend, was surprised it was funny. I don't remember that, but sorry. I'm glad you thought it was funny. Yeah, I think it's better. It's okay if you're with people that don't mind it, but if you're with a crowd of people you don't know very well, I wouldn't do it. If I like met my in-laws for the first time and I met Louise's family for the first time and I just started cursing constantly, they'd be like, ooh, that's kind of weird. Because I know a few people like that, and I'm just like, even though it doesn't bother me, I wouldn't go into a conversation assuming everyone doesn't mind you dropping F-bombs all the time. I'm curious what a dedicated professional-grade camera from Apple would look like. Me too. Thank you. My God. It would be so nice if we had Apple computational videography and photography on a dedicated camera with a full-size sensor and customizable lenses and that kind of thing. It would be awesome. Can confirm. All the moments that didn't make it into the Model Y review was Drew cursing me out. Yeah, I sounded like a Martin Scorsese movie. Oh, my God. If you can add one feature to the iPhone 12 and not 120 hertz, because I know you would pick that, what would it be? Probably USB-C. I think those were the two top things. Like all I really wanted on the next iPhone was USB-C and 120 hertz. And like most years, I don't get what I want, but the updated design I think would be nice. AirPods Studio thoughts. I'm not really a big fan of over-ear headphones. I don't really have much of a need for them, so I'm curious to see what they look like, but it seems like the past 3 Apple events, they've been like, we're going to see the AirPods Studio, and then they don't happen. So I'm just like, are we going to get these things? A lot. Rockford says he cursed a lot before he learned that it's not okay. I mean, morally, ethically, I don't really have much of an issue with cursing. It's just common politeness, etiquette type thing. You don't want to be doing it constantly. Some people overuse them, but there's also a lot of comedic moments in movies and TV and YouTube channels where you can use those words in flawless execution and make some hilarious comedy moments with them. Let's see. I would add an IR blaster. Huh. Okay. No, I've not used up my iCloud storage. No. I meant, what is even the point of faster processors on a phone when you don't push the new processor any harder than previous years? Well, they do. Typically with photo and video features, they end up pushing it harder each year. But a lot of the time, the CPU processors are more about power efficiency gains more so than making them faster. So it's not just a battle of making it outperform last year's chip. It's like, how do we make it outperform last year's chip and then use way less power? That's more the challenge. Anything new in this pandemic climate is refreshing. Yeah, to be honest, yeah. Anyway, we hit the 2:30 mark, so we've reached the hour, ladies and gentlemen, but it's been fun. Lots of super chats today. Thank you all. I appreciate it. I hope everyone watching this knows that the point of the live stream is not to get super chats. I just like I just like catching up and talking with you guys about subjects outside of tech if you want. I don't mind talking about tech, but Talks just gives people the freedom to ask about other things if you would like as well. So I try to do these a couple times a month, but it's been fun. It's been real. Hope to do a couple more. And thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Bye-bye.